I am Miss.ABA and welcome to my channel. Okay, so let's discuss Dutch music. Okay, so I did, recently released a song which is called Als Goud, which is my first Dutch song. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I've gotten so many positive responses to it. I mean, people love it. They love the energy, the piano, the beat, the drums. Christopher Moses did his thing. But there have also been some, critical people that were like, oh, you better sing in English or whatever. So here is how I feel about it. Let's go. I'm from Ghana, proud Ghanaian, okay? But, I've also been born and bred in the Netherlands. And that's really part of my life. Some people might wonder, okay, why is your accent like this, and so? It happens, man. It's travel. It's part of being an African diaspora. Your accent just goes everywhere like that. Back to Dutch music. So growing in the Netherlands, especially if you are one who is drawn to, your urban genres, so, your hip hop, R&B, your pop, then it's most likely that you've also had like periods that you would really, really, really be drawn to and really love, Dutch music. Within urban music here in the Netherlands, we've had our periods where we were really drawn to American music. But as time progresses, your Dutch songs also come up. So I've kind of grown up with, the American influence, the Ghanaian music influence, but also the Dutch influence. And actually living in the Netherlands, you'll be blessed by some good, Dutch artists, that you grew up with. So looking into hip hop, you have some artists like your Brainpower, Lange Frans, MS.ABA, you have Ali.B, you have Yes Air, that you grew up with. But you also have English speaking. Unique, who else was there that was really good? I don't know it on top of mind. But, you really have like good artists. And Dutch music in urban music, so let's say a Dutch R&B song or a Dutch hip hop song, really had its time where it was really appreciated, where there would be hits and played so many times. But, it would then also fade away because of the fact that, the influence of American, let's say English music coming from America and UK is really, really, really strong. And that also in the Netherlands. But there are some artists that I really, really love. It's like some songs that I've grown up with is Nobody's Wife from Anu. It's so bad, I swear. What goes around, comes around, you'll see. Listen, I don't know the lyrics. Ik ben de tekst kwijt. But that is like a Dutch artist that sings English music. She's dope. We also have Kraantje Oosterhuis, that has her period where she has sung in English, like somebody else's lover. That was really dope. And then we also have Etcilia Rombly, who sings in English and both in Dutch. I think Kenny B, with Praat Nederlands met me, even Nederlands met me. Which is really Dutch reggae, good music. Back to this topic, okay? So Dutch music. So Dutch music has, played definitely a role in my liking and my flavor for music. We've had, your eras where Brace was really, listened to. And vraag jezelf eens af. Terwijl niemand je snapt. Terwijl niemand je snapt. Terwijl niemand je snapt. Hey, listen, I just did a remix on that. But those are really good songs. And now actually in this era, in the Netherlands, we are now again in an era whereby Dutch music, Dutch urban music is really appreciated. You even see a good influence of, African genres coming through. You have your groups like Broederliefde that come from Cape Verde. When it comes to, the African history and stuff, I have to get it straight. You of course have one that we celebrate, who is a fellow Ghanaian, Frena, who's doing really well. Most streamed artist, I think in 2019. We're really proud. That's a bit of, of the Ghanaian diaspora who's doing awesome in music, and he has his songs that are in Dutch, and you can really hear, the African flavors from that. It's a bit reminiscent of an R2B's, but also something new, and he really does it in Dutch. So there is this record of him, shut down, shut down. Yeah. So the reason I went into writing a Dutch song was, I write my music a lot. This was a record that I had the melody, thinking a lot about, how we could love each other a bit more. A lot of mental health things, challenges, we're fighting people, and I've really thought about, how we would regard each other a bit different if we would look at each other's life as valuable. The way that God sees, our life is really, really valuable. And in scripture, gold is a lot of times used as a metaphor, drawn to paint a picture. Gold has throughout the times been seen as something so valuable, of course, in trade, in everything. And also not to forget the fact that Ghana is blessed with gold. And the story of gold is something that I use as a metaphor, because my upcoming EP is called Like Gold. This record is called Als Goud, which means like gold. I'm using it as a metaphor as to express to people that good things take time, good things take nurturing, it takes love, it takes care, So thinking about that, meditating about that, I got to the melody of na 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 na, and it was even in a different key. It was like na 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 na. Funny thing is that I was communicating with Christopher Moses, Nigerian Lagosian producer, and he had this particular amapiano production. And it was so funny that the melody, the chords of na na were actually the same. I was like, but I just had to bring it a key higher, where it was, I was like, send me this. I need this production because it matches. This is beautiful. This is something that I love. But then came, of course, Dutch. I was really inspired by my Instagram followers. Yes, my tribe, my sheroes. Shout out to you. I was actually inspired by you all because of the fact that, throughout the years, I've been able to grow like a community, a following that's really international and African. You know what I mean? At least you love African music. And the nice thing about it is that you have a group that speaks Dutch, English, Swahili, Portuguese, and I love how we just connect throughout the DMs, throughout the stories, based on our Africanness, our love for Africa. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what? I really want to know more about who my tribe is and connect with people on different parts of the world, because what interests me as an individual is how has African sounds developed, throughout the years. So I am a lot likely to hear music and find out who are the makers, what is the history, who brought this to the other side of the world, why is it that this rhythm, it's the stuff that young people don't care about, but that's okay. In my DMs, I have people teaching me Swahili, teaching me Portuguese, teaching me French, which are all like languages I somehow possess in a way. And I'm, ready to pick back up, even in Chi, So it's my way to connect with my audience. I love knowing more about people, what drives them, and the type of African music that inspires them and everything. So I've decided to do a Dutch song. It could be that I would run to French, or maybe a song that's fully in Tree, or maybe a song that is in Swahili. Like, I love to not just experiment or just try, but I really like to connect with people because language is such a powerful tool. So if you want to know why I did Dutch because of you. And now it's Amapiano. It's Dutch and Amapiano, which is can be quite controversial. But you know what? Let's do this. And also, I'm gonna tap a bit more into the cultural side of Amapiano. I don't just want to take it and just use it and sing over it. No, it's a celebration of a piece of culture from the southern part of Africa beyond its borders. And here I go back to my broadcaster's style and talking. Why a Dutch song? This is why I did a Dutch song. I am MS.ABA. Thanks so much for hopping on my channel. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, click the subscribe button, like it, and I will drop a video every now and then to talk about living life cultured.